Hey, it's your boat guy here with a special video called Boat Loan Basics. What you need to know about financing your boat. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about is the down payments. Now, boat loans are just enough different than car loans that the down payments, there's very few programs that have zero money down. Because a boat is a luxury item, an unnecessary purchase, according to the banks, to us boaters, we know that they are absolutely necessary. And sometimes it makes sense to finance a portion of the investment. So 10% is the most common amount that is the lowest amount that you can get approved for. So almost every loan is going to require 10%. That's new boats and newer boats, typically newer than 10 years old, will ask for 10% as a minimum down. You can certainly do more. The 20%, if they're a little bit older boat, a little bit higher price boat, over let's say $500,000, 500,000 or so, they may ask for 20%. Or if you have some slower credit, if you have some credit issues in the past that have been cleaned up, you may still get approved, but they may ask for 20% or a little bit more down. So just know going into it that it's likely they'll ask for some level of down payment, 10% or more. Some things that may impact rates, that may impact how you shop for your boat. Typically, a new boat that is brand new from a dealer is going to get you a rate a little bit better than a boat that's a couple of years old, a used boat. Another thing that will impact rate is if you buy a used boat from a dealer versus buying it from a private individual. Typically, buying from a dealer is going to get you a little bit better interest rate and a little bit cheaper payment. Boats that are 10 years old or older are typically going to have a little bit higher interest rate. So if you're looking in that range, if you can find a boat that's 9 years old, you're probably going to get a little bit better interest rate if it's in good condition than a boat that's 11 years old, okay? Now, on the dollar amount, this is based on loan amount, not the price of the boat, but actually the loan amount that you're financing. There tends to be interest rate reductions if you're over 25,000 in loan amount, over 50,000 and over 100,000. Now those loan breaks can be adjusted based on your lender, but just pay attention to, hey, if I don't put as much down, can I maybe get a little bit better rate? Or in some instances, if I buy a little bit more expensive boat, I can actually have a similar monthly amount. So just pay attention to it. Make sure you stick within the budget that you're comfortable with, but know that there are some discounts there and ask those questions. The other thing that will impact your rate is where you get your loan, whether it's a bank, a local credit union, a marine lender, or even the dealership's finance department is all going to impact the rate, and you may want to look at each of those options. So a couple questions to ask when you're looking at boat financing. The first is this a simple interest loan? And simple interest basically means that if you pay extra on the loan, you will not have to pay extra interest. You only pay interest on the amount that's outstanding on the loan. So if you make some extra payments or you chunk it down when you get bonuses, which a lot of boat buyers do, a lot of boat owners have bonuses and commissions, or business owners, and they may come into a chunk of cash that they want to put down on the loan. That simple interest is going to allow you to do that and save a bunch of money. Is it a fixed rate? Is this a rate that's going to stay the same for the entire term that I have this loan outstanding? And then is there a prepayment penalty? Will I be penalized, or will I have to pay extra to pay this loan off early? Just a couple questions that you want to ask, and in my opinion, you're going to want a simple interest loan that's a fixed rate with no prepayment penalty. Those are going to be three things that I would insist on for my boat loan. Now, just a quick look at credit. I'm going to give you a rough rundown of what they look at in the marine lending world for credit. A 780 credit score and above is what they call a perfect credit score in most cases. That's going to give you the lowest interest rate and the lowest down payment. So typically that 10% down and the best rates going. If you're from 620 to 780, that's going to give you a great rate and a lower down payment, almost always 10% in that situation. and the rate's going to be very solid. The closer you are to 720, 780, the better your rate's going to be, but certainly doable down to a 620 credit score. A fair credit rating of 580 to 620. Hey, you've had some issues there in the past. Expect to pay a higher rate, typically around 18%, and they're going to typically look at 10 to 20% down, likely that 20% category. In this situation, hey, if you know your credit's going to be improved, you know you're going to come into a chunk of cash that you can get it paid off completely, and it makes sense for you, it may be an option to consider. But just understand that you will pay that higher rate, and you will likely ask to pay a higher down payment. Now, if you have poor credit, under a 580 credit score or so, that's going to be the highest rate, the largest down payment, if they're able to finance it at all. Your best bet in that situation is to talk to a local credit union or a local bank that you have a relationship with. If there's extenuating circumstances that make sense, that making this investment in a luxury item makes sense based on your current financial picture, you may still have the opportunity, but understand that there'll likely be a high rate and a larger down payment required, okay? So let's talk about the different type of lenders that you may want to research. Your local banks and your local credit unions. Now, those options are typically going to give you your lowest interest rate, but they're going to have the shortest term, which means that you're likely going to have a higher payment with those, but you'll have it paid off a little bit faster. And some of those are where you'll find those very low down payments, maybe even a 0% down at some credit unions if you're buying the right type of boat. Now, marine lenders and dealership finance centers are where you're going to find the lowest monthly amount and very, very competitive interest rates. So the rates are sometimes even going to be lower than the local banks and the local credit unions. They will typically require a 10% down payment. And they're also going to let you go for an extended period of time because they understand the marine lending world. They understand the boat, reselling a boat, which is their biggest risk, is if you don't make your payments, they're going to end up with the boat. And so they have outlets to take care of that and to liquidate and get the loan paid off. So you want to check with those. But I encourage, hey, go ahead and check with your credit union. Check with a marine lender that you find online. Check with the dealership and compare apples to apples. See which one makes the most sense for you, okay? So I want to show you some examples for a typical marine lender or a dealership finance company. So if you look at a $15,000 boat and you put down $2,000, you're going to have a monthly amount of about $150 a month, okay? Now, understand that interest rates change, and I'm just using some sample interest rates based on today's marketplace. On a $30,000 boat, 10% down would be $3,000. Your monthly amount would look about $225 a month, okay? As we go up, a $60,000 boat, around 10% down, so $6,000 down, $450 a month. A $150,000 boat, around 15% down is what they're going to require, around $950 a month. So you can see that compared to an auto loan, that the payments are much more affordable because marine lenders understand that the value of their collateral, the boats, hold their value for an extended period of time. The boats are going to typically have a lifespan of 20, 30, even 40 years when it's well taken care of. So they're very comfortable extending those terms out and getting you a very, very affordable monthly amount. So, a $60,000 boat is going to put you in a very nice boat for less than $500 a month with, again, good, solid credit. So I just wanted to show you some of those examples so that you could see what it may look like based on the type of boat and the sales price of boat that you are looking for. So to recap, we talked about down payments, typically 10% down. Good credit, 680 and above is considered good credit and is going to get you some of the best rates available. If you're above 780, that's going to be the best place to go. When you look at lenders, hey, look at your local bank or credit union, but definitely check out marine lenders and the dealership referred lenders, they're typically going to get you some of the lowest monthly amounts if that's important to you, and realize that the payment amount is going to be comparable to it's not going to be, the term's not going to be comparable to an auto loan, if I say that right, and you're going to have a much lower monthly amount than you may expect with a $60,000 boat having an under $500 a month payment. Okay, so I want to offer you a personal boat loan report. You can get a free custom boat loan report. Just click on the link down below, and that will take you to a page where we'll gather a little bit of information, and we'll actually give you a custom report based on the information that you provide. No obligation, no cost, just to give you a sense of where you would be if you were going to finance a boat based on the answers that you provide. So go ahead and take advantage of that. And hopefully this was valuable. If it was, do me a favor. Just like it, give it a little thumbs up, make a comment down below, and even ask a question, and we monitor the comments, and we'll be back with you to respond. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the next video.